Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another special episode of Herschel Talkers. We got some great returning guests, Angry Scott and casual fan Kris. How we doing today, boys?
Feeling good. What's up, Trey?
Fantastic.
Good. Great to have you guys back on. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. Be great to get those numbers up. So also hit that bell notification, like and subscribe. That'd be great for us. So jumping right into it. We got our Viva Seltzer sponsor. They've really been really gracious to sponsor us. So Viva Seltzer. And I'm going to throw this over to Scott, Angry Scott, talk a little bit about it.
Viva Seltzer, Vila Tequila Seltzer is most refreshing hard seltzer on the market. It is no wonder why Viva was rated the #1 hard seltzer in the world by the San Francisco World Spirits Competition this year. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a 4.5% ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations. As it was created with the active lifestyle in mind. We flavored our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life. We like our drinks with a kick, just as we like to live our lives. Whether it's a huckleberry while playing a round of golf or elderberry after a Saturday morning workout, our flavors pair perfectly with our artisanal Blanco tequila for our subtle and refreshing drinks. Our belief is live long, live well, and live up to it. Hashtag Viva Up. And
Hey.
please, when you're drinking these Viva seltzers, and use them to influence your next bad decision. While of course, it's kind of like Trey was always going to wear those pair of Jordans, but after throwing down a couple of the Trey, they look fantastic. Kris and I are definitely not going to go and shame you like they did on Game of Thrones.
Also, hashtag I'll be your huckleberry right here. Also, please follow them on @Viva Seltzer on Instagram. So I've actually tried this. It's a great beverage, definitely good around the pool, and you can definitely check it out at your tailgate. Thank you so much. Check it out, Viva Seltzer here. All right, jumping right into it. We got that out of the way. Georgia with a beat down. To quote my buddy Uncle Lou, he beat the soul out of those guys. 49-6, complete destruction, beat down of Oregon, the Ducks. Bo Nix, Georgia's your daddy after you're 0-4 against them and shut him down. It was great. I'm gonna go ahead and answer Scott's question because I'm sure it's coming. Scott, I am a Stetson man. It's the best he ever looked. He was 2 touchdowns, 368 yards, 25 of 31. How would I dare say he looked like a Heisman Trophy candidate? I know you're probably gonna start laughing, but he looked great. I mean, this wasn't a Sisters of the Poor or School of the Blind team. This was a top 15, number 11. They could be terrible. It could be a mid-tier Pac-12 team, but 49-3 beating. Defense looked great. Shut down Bo Nix. Kendall Milton looked great. We have tight ends for days. Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington, Oscar Delp. We also have Eric Gilbert, former 5-star from LSU. Just looked great. We were rolling. Just a beat down and destruction. I think it put fear to everyone in college football that we're not rebuilding, we're reloading. So I want to get you guys.
A question for you, Trey. Question for you real quick. So what is he in? Bo's in, I'm sorry, Bo, what am I talking about here? Stetson, he's in.
Sorry, kind of broke up a little bit.
Did I not see that he's been there since 2017?
He is. He's about to be
so
25 years old.
How does that work? So 17, 28, 20. I said this is his 6th year of college, right?
That's correct. He got the extra year because of COVID. Remember that little sneaky little thing? So
did he redshirt another year?
Yeah, he actually transferred from a junior college. It's been a long process for him. He actually went away for a year. For Georgia fans,
so he got to count one of his years as a redshirt year. Is that right?
Yes, a redshirt year. He got an extra COVID year. I mean, last year all Georgia fans were saying he was like COVID. We can't get rid of him, but now we're loving him. You know.
Now you're saying you want that long COVID. So basically, Stetson Bennett is your long COVID.
Yes, he's our long COVID, but we're feeling a lot better about him. You know, not a lot of. We're vaccinated, long COVID. We're taking those boosters, but we're good to go.
Well, I don't know after he got his shot, all those curls went away or something. Because here's the thing, I know he's like 5'11", 180, but he
Yes.
really does look like he's like 5'5" out there amongst all the other monsters there in college football.
He
I will
does.
say this, Bo Nix looks like he could be Oregon's long COVID. You know what I mean? Because we went into this game and we said, hey, Bo, he knows the SEC. Yeah, he sure does. 49-3. I tried to watch this game.
Yeah.
I came back a little late, got a haircut, ran some errands, a little DVR delay, like I watch everything. It was unwatchable for your typical college football fan. For if you're a Georgia fan, yeah, you loved it because you were unstoppable on offense and defense, especially offense. I
Yep.
mean, but the defense was still lights out. I mean, you could do no wrong. Man, I mean, definitely. I mean, I'm not surprised the new polls came out. Georgia's number 2, Ohio State's number 3, but you earned it.
Yep.
No, I don't know how good Oregon's going to be. We'll get into it later. I also don't know how good Notre Dame's going to be. It's so early. It's tough to tell. Everybody say, hey, just get the Heisman right now. But it's like, man, it's week 1. You got a whole season. Everything was firing all cylinders. All that pressure's off. That 4-year elephant is off your back. So, they look phenomenal.
I will say this, to get real nitpicky though, if I have to be, with a with a microscope. Bo Nix was able to do some dinks and dunks. They actually outrushed us, and historically in the past, if Georgia lost the rushing game, they usually lose. But I would like to improve on that. And they didn't sack Bo Nix at all, so I'd like for them to get a more pressure. But they were like more bend don't break on defense. Offense, we have Todd Monken, which in my opinion is one of the best OCs in college football. So having him back, and you got Stetson Bennett, was his first year. He actually had a spring and a summer. So he's able to build chemistry with all the wide receivers, and this is like his team. I know the next time he throws a pick or a pick six, Georgia fans are going to want to put in our backup quarterback Carson Beck or Brock Vandergriff, but as of now, they're loving him. So I will say that special teams look great. We made all our kicks. One other impressive thing is the first 7 drives we scored on every drive a touchdown, which is to me impressive. Even if you do that against one of these, sisters of the poor, kind of like Samford, that was impressive. We actually punted. And I'm glad we got to see our new punter who's from Australia. He kicked it 53 yards. So, yeah, all in all, not too much to gripe about. Just need to try to improve. We got Samford coming up. We can briefly touch on that. I mean, this is going to be a blowout. I don't even think there's a spread. I mean, my prediction real quick. Hey, I will say this. I'll make this prediction. A Bulldog will win. Guaranteed. We got Samford Bulldogs and Georgia Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs will win. I can't guarantee that. But yeah, I'm just looking for get a lot of the backups in, maybe get Carson Beck, the backup quarterback, some time, get Stetson out of there, no injuries. See some of the young running backs, Branson Robinson, who to me looks like a mini Nick Chubb, get him some carries, Dajon Edwards, maybe see some of the tight ends. But yeah, this would just be, bona fide warm-up game, but I'm thinking like 56-7 if they even score would be great. But it's SEC Network 4 p.m. But yeah, I like what I see from Georgia. We're headed in.
Trey, I love how you won by 46, and you're like, well, yeah, but let me go ahead and nitpick and tell you all the things we could have done. We even went by 50. What was the point spread on the game? Do you know?
Yeah, the point spread going in was right around 16.5 or 17. And my pick last week was 31-14. I feel really good about it just because here's my thing from last week. All right, first off, first-year coach Dan Lanning. That was another thing, man. He beat the fool out of his assistant. I mean, there was no shame. I thought he would have pulled the dogs off, but Dan Lanning, God bless him, he looked like he was sweaty. He looked like he punched him in the mouth in the second half. He's all over the place. But just as an assistant coach, he looked lost. I mean, the good dude did a lot of recruiting for us. First-year coach, they were traveling 2,500 miles. We have dominated Bo Nix. I kind of felt glad about that with the game plan. And you were in a bona fide home game being in Mercedes-Benz. I mean, I had some friends that went, they probably said it was, 70-30, 80-20, which also helps. So it's just a bad matchup. But, yeah, I mean, I like
Dan Lanning was probably like, hell yeah, Georgia's winning big. Yeah, fuck those guys. Then he's like, oh, wait a second. I'm coaching the other team now.
Yeah.
Because, last year it was good when he was the defensive coordinator. And here's the other prediction I'm going to make. Wow, what a horrible opening for Dan Lanning, your former DC. I'm with you. I kind of thought maybe they pulled the dogs off a little bit. Actually kind of respect the fact that they didn't. But here's the other thing. If Dan Lanning has any sort of success over the next couple years. And that's just one game because you can't get too excited about that or Bo Nix. But if he has any sort of success at Oregon over the next couple years, I guarantee you he ends back up in the SEC. Okay, because that's what happened. Who was the coach ever since? Okay, so there was, of course, Chip Kelly at Oregon, right? And then there was, what was the guy's name? Mark, he took actually to the national championship. I forget his name right now, but the guy that succeeded Chip Kelly at Oregon. Okay. And then since then, no, not Mario Cristobal. It was the guy who actually took him to the national title, and he was let go. I can't think. He was an assistant under Chip Kelly. But here's my point. Since then, everybody has been in Oregon for like a year or two and then come back to a job in the South. And I can't. You're gonna have to tell me who the guy's name was. He was the Oregon coach, and then he came back to be the Florida State head coach. I forget what his name is, but you can go and look that up and find out. And then he was, of course, let go at Florida State. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking.
Jimbo,
But I just can't remember.
I mean, Jimbo was at Florida State for a little bit.
Yeah, we're talking about Oregon. But look at he has succeeded. He succeeded Jimbo. Look that up, Trey, and find out who that is. And then, of course, you had Mario Cristobal. He's there. Hey, I'm in Oregon for a couple of years. Then he comes back to Miami. So here's what's going to happen. If Dan Lanning has any sort of success at Georgia,
Mark Helfrich?
Willie Taggart?
yeah, well, Mark was to succeed at Chip, and then who was the guy? Taggart. He was at Oregon for like a year or two, and then came back to Florida State. He wasn't at Florida State long. So history tells us that if he has any sort of success in the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be some big job that opens up the South, and he'll come back. Now, if every game's like it was last Saturday, yeah, he's just going to get fired, but that's where they have contracts.
I will say this, touching that, Pac-12 looked bad, and then Utah, they should have won that game. I was actually pulling for them because I hate the Gators, but that was a bad loss. So you got they were top 10 teams. So you had Utah and Oregon losing. So that was a bad look. And then we'll probably get into it later, is ACC's trash to me too.
Well, and I want to get Chris's thoughts on this as a casual fan, because Chris, his goal every week is for both teams to just have fun. But obviously Oregon didn't have very much fun. So the other thing I'll say is Oregon, yeah, you're eliminated from the national championship. You're gone. You can't lose by 46 and still air quotes be in the mix. Until it's 2024, then you can still be in the mix, but not in 2022. Utah, man, to just touch on that real quick, Trey, that's really not that bad of a loss. If you want to first off, we don't know how good Florida is going to be, and you're playing at the Swamp at night, and you lost by 3, and you threw an interception right at the end. Utah's a pretty damn good team, so I don't know as though I'd bury Utah yet.
Right. Yeah, I mean, those guys can duke it out in the Pac-12. I don't think either one of them makes the playoffs. But, hey, if you want to make Georgia look a little better, if Oregon goes 10-2, hey, have at it, I'm looking at it that way. Now, if they go 8-4, 7-5, would be the garbage mid-tier, Pac-12 team. But we will see. Did want to say this, our other partner here, Talking Dogs. Pull that up here real quick. I hate when it does that. Here we go, Talking Dogs. Anybody wants to follow the coffee shop, Talking Dogs, they have their swag, film study where we're at. You want to talk about recruiting? They're gracious enough to have us post on their website. So check out Talking Dogs for all things Georgia football. I want to throw that out there. But
Chris, what are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah.
Honestly, I checked in at the beginning of the game. Then I had something to do. I checked the score at halftime, and I said, "Yep, it's in the bag." It was one of those games you just flip in on and say, "I think I'll go barbecue for a little bit." So at least we had some good burgers and to enjoy the duck murder. Only thing I'd say, Trey, or only question I have for you is how good does it feel seeing your team coming off a national title and then executing? I mean, aside the little points, executing pretty well against a real big name team.
Yeah, I felt really good about it because I was a little nervous coming in. I mean, 15 guys in the draft. We were just loaded on defense, 5 first-round guys. I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were going to take a step back. Everybody's like rebuild, the way you're supposed to, but he just showed like putting another clip in the gun. We were loaded. And Kirby looks like another man on a mission. Like today, I was listening to his press conference. He came out and said he looked pissed today. He's like, we had one of the best practices yesterday. Today, we had a terrible practice, one of our worst. So I don't know where our guys are at. I know we got, I respect Samford. He does the whole coach speak. So I like it that he's getting pissed off and you're like, you're trying to focus on little issues. He's not all like rah, rah, rah. Hey, we're blasting. I don't know what they say behind the scenes, but he is like focused. And he actually said the other day, he in his term, he's been there 7 years. He has the best coaching staff. I don't know if that was a little jab at Dan Lanning from what I read. So this is the best coaching staff I've had. Everybody's working together, putting up a great scheme and working together. So that's great. So, I mean, I like where it's headed. Cannot, but it's a long season and injuries happen. So we will see.
I'm going to translate that for you. That's we beat the shit out of them. So what do I say? Because there aren't too many air quotes teaching moments, coaching moments in that. But you also have 18 to 23-year-olds, unless you're talking about Stetson Bennett, who's now 34 years old. Everyone else on the team is really young, and they're going to be like, everybody's going to run, yeah, a bunch of bad motherfuckers and all this other stuff, and our shit don't stink. And then you go out and you're leading 7-0 versus Samson at halftime, you know? So that's why he says that. So I'm with you that, you know, if you're Georgia, if you're Alabama, if you're Ohio State, if you're one of these top programs, you've got to, hey, we won big, but we also have to play to that Georgia standard. And you should have that. You should have that standard, especially coming after a national title.
His big word in the all season is we're not complacent. And I know Scott loved it last year. We're either lead or you're not. This year's theme is we're not the hunted, we're the hunter. We're hunting people. We're not going to let Georgia be hunted. So we're like hunting. That's his big thing. So I'm sure Angry Scott, we can hear you troll Kirby on that. Hey, you're either hunted or you're hunted, or you hunting, you know? But we don't have a leader.
He says he does have like a lot of brothers in there. Let me tell you something, brother. It's like you listen to Hulk Hogan or something. Let me tell you something, brother. You're either leader or you're not, brother. You know, and he's always got that. What was his line last year? Hey, we brought the was it the Spartans or was it the Trojans who, when they're going to battle, they burn the ships. So we have to go. We can't get back on the ships. We have to go through them and get out of here. He said that against Alabama. So I hear you. These are all the bullshit things you got to say. And I get that. And everybody's like, hey, yeah, we're going to fuck them up and we're going to win every single game. Well, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to win every single game. And that's nothing against Georgia, but you lose somewhere along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And then everybody's going to say that if you're in any other conference, wouldn't matter. You win every single game, or the SEC means more, all that other bullshit. But look, Georgia's still going to be a very good team. And they should, unless they trip up somewhere along the way, they very much look like a playoff team. They look against, I mean, nothing against our friends, the Utah State Aggies, but they looked even better. You know, I will take 49 points if I'm a Georgia fan, as opposed to Alabama's 55 over Utah State. Okay. And you're like, hey, bunch are a lot of points. Hey, we shut them out. Yeah. Okay, good. What league is Utah State in? You know what I mean? The Big Sky or something. I'm sure I don't. Mount West. I mean, whatever. You know, it's not the Pac-12. You know, and I know, hey, maybe Oregon's garbage, but I think Oregon's going to be decent. I just think Georgia's just that damn good.
Yeah. Well, time will tell.
Agreed.
All right. Well,
hey, real quick, do you want to talk about the 12-team playoff real quick?
Yeah, we can touch on that. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and get into that and give you my thought. I love the 12-team playoff. I'm glad that they skipped over 8. I always said from the very beginning it should be 8. But now they've made it 12. I think it's only a matter of time before it gets up to 16. But hey, at least you can go and expand it from there. I think they're going to do what the Big Ten did, in the sense of they're going to go and get other networks involved, NBC, CBS, and then, hey, boom, you know, rise up the price and everything of how much they're going to do these huge television contracts, you know, and then ultimately I think the players are going to get paid. I think that's going to happen. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I don't know, 2025, maybe around the time this starts, I think that's going to happen. They're actually going to get money. It's not NIL. I love the fact that it's the 6 top highest ranked conference champions that get in. So that's going to guarantee them if the Pac-12 is complete garbage, they don't get somebody, right? You know, and yes, you're always going to pretty much, it's not guaranteed, but you're pretty much always going to have somebody from the SEC, ACC. And, you know, but you could also get somebody like a Cincinnati, the AAC, so you're pretty much guaranteed that other spot. And then the top 4, the way I understand it, the top 4 conference champions get buys. And then with that 12-team playoff, you have 6 at-large picks, and then you're going to have home and aways, which I think is fantastic. I think that's going to grow the sport in a huge way. I also love the fact, because I hate Notre Dame, that you're not a conference, so that means you can't get a bye, and you don't play conference championship weekend, but you definitely have to, if you make the playoff, then you have to play that first week. So that I love. I think that's going to do a tremendous amount to grow the sport. What are your thoughts, Kris?
Oh, you caught me off guard. So it's about damn time, right? Expansion from the going from 4 to 12, aggressive, but as we've learned, NCAA loves money. So this is a great chance for them to just, again, get more schools involved, get a little bit more casual fans like myself tuning in, and also just getting more alumni money, right? So nothing better than what's better than one bowl game? 2, especially when you get to bleed the alumni base, right? But overall, no, I think it's going to be awesome. Way more couch time for me, and probably a lot more pounds. So,
well, the other thing, when you say the NCAA love money, if we know anything, the NCAA loves to not pay the players. So the NCAA, I don't think, is really going to be involved. I think they're eventually going to pull away from the NCAA, and like the CFP is just going to, act on its own. So, but I do love the fact that, I mean, people can say, oh, it's not going to really affect anything. Yeah, but dude, you can have an upset. You're still going to get some blowouts. We have blowouts now when there's 4 teams. Right. So, I mean, you probably still going to get, it's like if you have March Madness, not all the number 1 seeds make it, right? So is it always going to be the top 4? I don't think it's always going to be the top 4. You could get a bad matchup, somebody could get hurt, something can happen in a home and away game. So there's a lot. I mean, I think that's the way you got to grow the sport. What do you think there, Trey?
Yeah, I completely agree. Both of you guys, great points. What I wanted to add is kind of like what you said, Scott, is matchups. So, for example, we might get Georgia had 1 or 2 losses. They make it in. You got to go to Ohio State. You got to go to a Michigan, and you might go down there and freeze your balls off. It might be just one of those. The weather completely changes. Ohio State might have to go to, I don't know, Florida or Miami or whoever it is. So I like the whole.
Yeah, because what sucks in December? Man, you go to Florida and it's warm. You're like, man, I'm not used to this slightly warmer weather, but
this humidity.
Exactly.
Ohio State, it's always difficult if Ohio State has to go and play in like perfect weather conditions. You're like, oh no, it's like 78 degrees of low humidity. What a horrible time to play.
Exactly. So, but like I said, let's just say Ohio State's got a squad like they have, and we got a good defense, but Georgia's got to go, and it's going to be 18 degrees and sleet. I'm like, that's going to be a really advantage for you guys. But we've never played in that. We either play in like Florida or dome game. So, hey, you might have Alabama has to travel to Jimmy Harbaugh, as you like to call him, or just some kind of matchup like that. It could be really interesting. Also, it was really aggressive. I was really surprised it went from 4 to 12 because it was always that 8-team rumor. And then was it last year before the whole Oklahoma, Texas? It looked like it was a done deal for 12. So I thought that was aggressive. And I guess from being an SEC, homer and everything, I think it gives us a real shot of having maybe 2 to 3 teams. And it gives us a chance, me being greedy. Georgia gives them a chance of maybe they have 2 losses, they still could get in, or we run into Alabama every year and slip up, we could still kind of backdoor our way in. But I think it gives it a little more parity. But I think it's still, you're going to have Alabama's, the Ohio State's, the Clemson's, just because of the recruiting. But you're going to give maybe, like you said, one of these teams a chance. But I still think these guys get blown out. I mean, maybe like that Coastal Carolina from a year or 2, you put them in the back door. But I mean, it's going to add more parity. It gives more of a chance because I think everyone's a little fatigued, with the Ohio States, the Alabamas, everybody playing each other. So this gives them more of a chance. I mean, God bless them if they win, but I don't see it. But it's still going to be some of the same teams, but it gives them a chance. So
the only thing that I don't want to hear is all the fucking SEC fans. You'll be like, well, our 8th best team should be in. I'm like, fuck you. Yeah. Man, if you're the 8th best team in the SEC, fuck you. If you want to have the 6 at large be the SEC teams, then so be it. But the other part of it is, if you're that good, I mean, look, man, the Alabamas of the world can still very well go undefeated, okay? But if you have 1 or 2 losses, I don't care. I mean, look, man, LSU won the national title against Ohio State in 2007, one of the craziest football seasons ever. They had 2 losses, but as Les Miles said, well, both our losses, we were undefeated in regulation. So he lost both in overtime, which is still a loss, but whatever. That was before he was, who knows what he was doing. Now that we look back at Les Miles, who knows what he was doing during that time, but I digress. The thing that is, it opens up to more people. Hopefully there's less people that opt out. But the other thing that I've heard that's interesting, and Chris and I being Ohio State guys, is that if you're a school up north, then you could actually go and move it to a dome. Now, why the hell would you do that? I don't know. So they're saying that Gene Smith, Ohio State's athletic director, said, well, hey, we could move this to Indianapolis. Why the hell would you do that? Why would you take away the advantage to playing outside? He's like, well, it's going to be too cold and all the other bullshit. I'm like, come on, man. Remind me, Green Bay Packers. Is that north of Ohio? Of course it is. Did they play outside? Yes. Okay. So, I mean, are you playing in the middle of January even? No, you're playing like a week or two sometime in December. Is it all that different from when Ohio State plays Michigan at the end of the year? I don't think it is. Right. So they say that's the other thing that could happen, but I think it would be foolish for a team like Ohio State if you get a home game to not have that in the horseshoe. What do you think about that, Chris?
100%. You have to play up on the home game or the home field advantage. Excuse me. Yeah, that's all I got.
He is a casual fan, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a man of
Dude,
I'm
off. Scotty's rambling, and
I love it how I ramble on for like 8 minutes or something. Chris is like, "Yeah, no, you make a lot of good points." Okay, hey, good segment.
Cool. See ya.
Hey, guess who's been throwing down some of those Viva seltzers?
Hey, make sure.
Huckleberry.
We got the huckleberry, elderberry, watermelon. Yeah, good stuff. Hey, nice little plug there at the end. Make sure and follow at Viva Seltzer and check out the promo code. But that's Herschel Talkers. Appreciate you joining us, and we're out.